Welcome to another episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. I'm your brother, O God, from Hip Hop News Uncensored, and sitting across from me is my co-host.
What up, y'all? It's your man Sam, and CEO of Viral Hip Hop News. You in the building for another edition of the baddest goddamn podcast in the motherfucking land, Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
What up, man? We back, and it's time to do the damn thing like nobody else in the industry does. Few people can actually carry a show without guests, and we could do both. So let's get into it, man. We got a lineup today, a powerful lineup, man, of at least 5 stories. So you're in for a treat today, man. We're gonna talk about Ice Spice today, and whether, pretty much if she was dark skinned, would she be what she is today? Also, Gille and Wallow, and really Gille and Joe Budden are going back and forth with each other. We'll talk about that as well. Over the weekend, Boosie was arrested once again for gun possession. We'll give you the scoop on that and give you our opinion on how we feel about that. Also, allegedly, there was a scuffle that went down between Usher and Chris Brown. We'll talk about how we think that shit was fake as hell. And Lil Wayne, I feel like he's taking some shots at some of these young rappers. And we're going to play that audio and get to that today. And then whatever else we'll throw up in there, maybe talk some NBA shit. Whatever, man. I'm just, here we're going to start with this, though. Let's start with the death, the untimely demise of Charlie Rock LD. Sam, and we had him on the show maybe 5-6 months ago.
Yeah.
And we found out through Cuban Link, like everybody else did, that he passed away the other day. How'd you feel when you heard the news, man?
It's always unfortunate when you interview somebody and you get to know him just a little bit. We ain't know him that well,
right?
But we did have an opportunity to interview him, hear his story, get his story on the platform for the hour that we had him on. And this has happened a couple times, and it's kind of eerie that. And I'm not saying we got anything to do with this wild shit, but
right.
When you get the interview person, get to know them, and then all of a sudden they pass away suddenly, unexpectedly, it kind of just makes you reflect and go, damn, it makes you look at your own mortality. Now, we know that man was dealing with a lot of issues, a lot of demons, and I'm not saying that's the reason why he passed away, but it seemed as though he was trying to make good from them demons and get his life together. You heard Cuban Link saying that he was happy, he was starting to smile a little bit, and even though they had their little situation because of that situation, he was happy to see him doing well. So, just condolences to the family, you know what I mean? I wish that he would have been able to get out here a little more and I guess do what he wanted to do. He was starting to put out content. He was starting to really move in that arena and that avenue. So condolences to his family, man. It's unfortunate. We don't know what happened, but yeah, that's really all I got on him.
Yeah, and then, I'll say this, man. I know when we reached out to him, he was excited to do the interview. He showed up for the interview, and that's respectable, to me. A lot of people didn't agree with his approach and a lot of things that he said, but then a lot of people was, rooting for him if you look at the comments. But Fat Joe, one of the people, he's pretty much became one of Fat Joe's like arch nemesis at this point in time. And Fat Joe made a statement that was a subliminal shot, and we all heard it, we all seen it, right? He pretty much came out and said, God don't like ugly. Now, he didn't put any names to it or anything like that, but come on, man, we not stupid. We could read between the lines. How'd that make you feel?
I don't agree with the approach, but we don't know their story all the way through. And I know a lot of people give Joe a lot of they throw a lot of shade toward Joe because of what they assume happened with Pun, and we don't know exactly what happened. But if that's justifiably and deservingly so, then he deserved that criticism. But I think that in doing that, a lot of people take a lot of credit for what Joe has built outside of Terror Squad, and I think Joe's starting to feel some type of way about that. Like, nigga, y'all wasn't with me shooting in the motherfucking gym the whole time. You went and did your thing. You went and did your thing. You went and did your thing.
He lost the eye for him, though. He lost the eye for him.
I hear you. And there may be a certain different level of loyalty to me.
Yeah.
If you lost the eye for me, I'm going to take care of you. But that don't mean I owe you shit. I think there's a big difference. Like, I didn't ask you to go out here, yo, bro, go lose an eye for me. You went and did that off the strength, off of loyalty, and I appreciate it. But at the end of the day, I cannot be your servant, your slave for the rest of my life because you went out here and lost an eye for me. Do I think that he should have showed a little more loyalty to the situation, given the fact that he was shouting him out in his old lyrics, put him in his book? This dude obviously had an integral part in your life, and if you felt some type of way about him, then leave it alone because that respect even in a minuscule level, should still be there a little bit because of what y'all went through. And yes, the man did lose an eye for you. I just think Joe feels scorned right now. He's feeling like he's on the defense. His back is against the wall. Everybody's shooting shit at him. Everybody's saying this and that. Now Charlie Rock dies. Everybody's saying this. He's like, man, F all y'all. So I don't agree with the approach, but I'm trying to just understand that side.
I mean, he doing what the drill rappers do. Smoking on the Charlie Rock pack.
Ooh,
I mean, that's what he's pretty much saying.
I don't know if you want to smoke that right now.
Oh, man. But nah, yeah. Nah, man, you know, when you the man, when you like Fat Joe is the man, you got people in your circle, right? And sometimes you might see somebody in your circle where you feel like you may see some disloyalty coming. You got to get them out the circle.
Yeah.
You know, and it almost feels like a kind of like a Jay-Z Beanie Siegel type of situation. Not quite, but it's like, all right, we was kind of together, boom, boom, and now you throwing shots at me and shit. Like, nigga, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's probably where Fat Joe's coming from. Like you said, we don't know the situation. We don't know the story. All we know is Charlie's side. Yeah. You know, Fat Joe, you know, really didn't say too much about him. He said stuff about him in the book, or supposedly he was talking about him in the book. But we just don't really know the true story. And I wish that Fat Joe would, you know, open up about it. But hey, he's entitled to say what he said. You know, it's some sucker shit. But hey, somebody's coming at you, you know, making a career now on slandering your name and coming after you, and they die, and you want to say what you want to say. Hey, man, who am I to say anything against it?
This is the only thing I say about it, and this is my opinion. Like I asked, so everybody got one. Either Joe go all the way in on Charlie Rock in the whole situation, or don't say nothing at all.
He throwing little subliminal little subs, yeah.
Yeah, so okay, you see it.
Right, yeah.
You watching.
Right.
You paying attention to everything that's going on. And then at a moment where dude can't even defend it or is gone, now you want to throw a shot. I think that's a little whack. I think either go all the way in or leave it alone completely. Either he's, no pun intended, dead to you, or you're going to acknowledge it all the way and dead that shit completely. But he kind of stared and swayed in the middle, which kind of makes it look weak to me.
Yeah, and I just hope, man, that whole situation is, according to the people that we brought on the show, it appears like there's still money owed to Big Pun.
Yep.
And so I just hope that, you know, that stuff gets ironed out. It may not necessarily be Fat Joe's fault. It may be because from my, you know, experience in the thing, it was like somebody named Jelly Bean Publishing, you know, that may have a hand in this as well. But we'll let that thing iron itself out. They got the lawyers and stuff on it, and we interview, you know, Liza and her attorney about it. So
and Gangu Roach, and he got something to do with that too.
Yeah, he actually came through before them. Right. This was a couple years ago,
right?
And I think he said he found a couple $1 million too that was missing and misappropriated as well. But hey, I just wish the best for the whole situation, man.
At the end of the day, me too, man. Condolences to Charlie Rock, and hopefully everybody can move forward, man. So your boy Lil Wayne, my boy too, man. He was on an interview. He was talking about hip hop. Now, obviously, Lil Wayne is probably on the Mount Rushmore of a lot of these young rappers, hip hop icons. You know what I mean? They have mimicked their styles from the dreads to the tattoos to the style, from the drug use, from Lil Wayne, right? And he went on an interview. I want to play a clip of what Lil Wayne had to say in this interview because he brought up some interesting topics. And I don't know if he was throwing shade at these new rappers or not. Maybe I didn't hear it correctly, but I want to get your thoughts.
Cool. Most thing about where that today makes me appreciate who I am in the time I came in and how different it was and how harder it was when I came. So therefore, all those today, they respect the fact that, you know what, and they also understand that it was nowhere near as difficult as it was for you guys that it is for. So and they hopefully they respect it. Like, that's what I like about the game the most today. The state of hip hop the most is that it shows what I care. It shows that I come from a different time. It's almost like watching when you're from the South. It's almost like hearing one of your old grandfather's friends or something like, boy, that same block y'all go to, boy. We couldn't even walk down that block, boy. You know, y'all just run up and down that block like that.
Damn.
It's like that. You like, damn, it used to be a what? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. So like the state of the game now, they know that they got social media. They know that they can post themselves. They can put this out on their own. They have their own platform. We didn't have that, and we had to. And you had to get your music liked by a record exec, not liked, loved. loved enough to where they want to do business with you, and that's a total difference than what they have to deal with today. They do business amongst and with themselves because it's the way the world is now.
All right, and I don't want to be I gotta make sure I say this. He was doing an interview with Missy Elliott, another legend in the game.
Oh, wow.
I'm just doing no regular interviews with the legendary Missy Elliott. So salute to both of them. What do you think about that? He gave love at the same time. Did he take away from what these artists are doing now, in your opinion? What's your thoughts?
I think he's pretty much, he made the great analogy. He kind of just showed us, like, it's a different way that he came through it. Like, right now, it's just more opportunities and more ways to be seen, what he's pretty much saying. Like, you got social media, you have your own platform. You know, you don't necessarily have to go through a label exec anymore. You could push it up on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Spotify, all that stuff. You can put it up on your own now and not even be discovered, you know, through a typical record label. The people could actually rock with you first. It was reversed before. You had to do your thing. You know, you may have a little buzz in the street, but then, you know, like you said, a record exec pick you up, bring you on, and times that shit times 100,000. Now we push you out our distribution channels. You on TV, you on B, you on this and that. So he just, like, I think he probably just wants a little bit more credit for the clones that he birthed in his hip hop game on some real shit. You know what I mean? And 100% real, 100% respect. Because it was a point in time I really wasn't feeling Lil Wayne. He's definitely earned my respect as a lyricist, one of the top hip hop rap artists of all time. And yes, he will body 50 Cent in a versus battle. Discussion is closed. That's all I gotta say about it.
I'm gonna slide back a little bit before we get to that. I'm glad I heard it in its full context, because when I heard the original audio earlier today, they only clipped out a piece where it just said they have it easier today. They have it way easier the way than I had. I had to grind. I had to do this. So to hear its proper context, I think he was kind of just more speaking along the lines of, hey, this generation, this new age is different, to where they have more opportunities, to where they don't have to walk up into a label, get their soul taken, or get put on a shelf, when they have all of these different avenues that they can just utilize from their phone, distribute their music on their own, get a nice buzz, get a push. And now you're looking at a label in a situation where if you're going to come to the table, you're coming on more of a side-by-side situation as opposed to you overhead and looking down on me type situation. So, and you can't be mad at that. Like, I think that artists that did it yesteryear and are watching it today and have criticism about that are just a little bitter, because this is just the age and the new age that we're in, and you've had every opportunity to adapt as well as these new age artists to go ahead and put your stuff out there. And I think Lil Wayne is one of these people that, even though he doesn't necessarily have to do it because he was on icon rock star status prior to even all this stuff happening, he understands that as well and can use that in his benefit to promote and push music in a different type of way now. So just a different era, different age. It's kind of crazy that you see Lil Wayne kind of talking about his era when in your mind you kind of subconsciously think, damn, it still is a kind of like a Lil Wayne era, but
it kind of passed him by to a certain extent, to where he, you know what I mean, he's not that premier artist anymore. It's these like other guys that are now premier, you know, artists. And but he held it for a long time, man. Probably what, a 5 to 10 year span. He had the game on smash. Anything he was putting out, he was the top guy. He wanted to go through for a feature, and you know, he jumped on songs with Jay-Z, Kanye, T.I., like anybody you could name in the game, and made fire. So it's just like, sometimes your time is stamped, and it's time for you to move on to another capacity. Not mean that you got to stop rapping,
right?
But you're moving on to a whole nother capacity. And I'm glad that he said it, because even you see it, like anything you win, you see like, you know, things were different at one point in time, and it's like, all right, things change now. You know, like let's say for the podcasting thing, like 10 years ago or 7, 8 years ago, it would have probably been a better time to get in. Contrary to people believe now, because it's so oversaturated and it's so hard to really, you know, make a living doing podcasting right now. But people are still going to do it because it looks like, you know, the popular thing to do. But trying to get on now, I'm not trying to shoot nobody's dreams down, because you can still make it, but it's probably gonna be twice as hard now. You know what I mean, to make it in the pod, because every celebrity want to do it now. Every rapper, every, you know, athlete now wants to do a podcast. So
they are doing it too.
They are, yeah.
And shout out to Lil Wayne, because I think that, as you were saying, I'm thinking Lil Wayne, he got on those tracks with Old, but I think that he could get on with a Lil Baby, Lil Durk.
Without a doubt.
He could still skate and slide on a lot of these new artist type shit. He could get on drill. He can get on the new hip hop. He's so talented that he can still get in there and still make relevant music to where you're going, what the fuck is this old ass nigga doing? Like, it still will make sense, man. That's a credit to his superstar status. And yeah, man.
Yeah. Dope. All right, let's talk about Chris Brown and Usher, because apparently, I guess the story was that Usher got jumped or beat up, scuffled by Chris Brown's crew and whatnot. I don't know how true it is. Nobody really knows how true it is. I think that same day or the next day they were performing together on stage. Everything looked cool. And like a week earlier, Usher was actually talking about how Chris Brown is his brother.
Yeah.
Heard him saying like that's 100% grand. He said he loves him. And not to say that something couldn't have happened, it probably could have. But I was kind of thinking maybe, they were kind of talking about the verses. I don't know if it's going to happen, but maybe it was some type of promotion for that. I don't know. But I just didn't believe that they got into a scuffle or a fight like that, like a full-blown whooping Usher's ass like that. I just don't believe that. What's your thoughts on it?
Whether or not it's true or not, and what I mean by true, let's say they got into an argument.
Right.
Let's say they were in a skating ring, alcohol was around, somebody was trying to calm somebody down, and somebody said, man, get out of my face on some drunk shit. That ain't a fight. That ain't somebody getting beat up. That's no real beef.
Right.
All right. And now it's alleged that Usher goes outside to try to calm Chris down. He goes in the back of the bus, comes back, he has a nosebleed. Let's say he got punched in his face. Obviously, Usher ain't tripping on it. Obviously, Chris Brown ain't tripping on it, because the very next day, a few hours later, they're on stage doing Lovers and Friends in Vegas like nothing ever happened. Nobody says anything about it, which I think is dope. Let's say it did happen. Usher or Chris Brown said nothing about it. So some nosy ass motherfucker in there happened to say something that it got overblown. But look how dead it got when Usher and Chris Brown say absolutely nothing about it and they let it slide. I think these dudes are still brothers. I don't think there's any beef at all. Even if it did allegedly happen, I think that that's some brotherly shit. Brothers sometimes get into altercations, especially when alcohol's involved. Once you calm down, you sober up. Hey, yo, bro, my bad. We cool. Blah, 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 blah. Go have some breakfast. Keep it moving. And that's what I think happened. Yeah. If that did happen. It wasn't no Chris Brown's crew rolled out Usher and are we going to press charges and what's going on with Chris. I don't think it was any of that. And I'm glad. Right. Shit do happen. But cooler heads seemed as though they prevailed and we moving on.
Yeah. Now, here's the real question, right? Usher was asked in an interview. I forget who he was doing the interview with. Man, I forget. And it was a prominent person too. But he was asked about a versus with Chris Brown. He pretty much said that this will be like the biggest thing ever in music if this were to go down. Like, and I believe it. I think it'd be great because there's so much great music that them two have put out, man, over the years. I'll probably say my 1 and 2 favorite R&B guys, right? Like, honestly, I rock with both of them dudes.
Right.
Who do you think will win? Then I don't know if they're gonna do a verse like a head to head, but I think the competitive spirit will definitely turn into that with them too. Have to, as much as they want to go up there and say it's gonna be a buddy thing. I think that shit's gonna turn to a competition. Who do you think wins that shit, man? Being an R&B head,
it's an interesting argument. I think it's how it's done, right? So let's say go back to 2020 and we back in we're quarantined, and they both got their computers. They're both in the studio and they're both just playing records.
Oh yeah, I ain't talking about that shit.
I think Usher crushes them. Honestly, they're just playing records. Now let's go on stage.
Whew.
And let's have a crowd involved. And let's have dancing and performancing involved with these songs, i.e. Dollaz versus Dipset. I think Chris Brown might get him.
I don't know. What you think?
So close.
Woo.
Now we ain't talking about music. Now we talking about overall performance. And Usher ain't no slouch.
Nah.
You talk about best dancers in the best entertainers in R&B. They both looked up to Mike. They both are very similar to Mike. They both have an argument on saying they're the closest thing to Mike that we've had since Mike. Them two. Only them two.
What about nostalgia-wise, though? Like, up there, like, oh, my God, that's the Usher joint.
Me, Usher.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
me, Usher, bro.
Right.
Because I think even though Chris Brown, I think, is dope, and he would have us hitting some of them nostalgia, he started straying toward that hip-hop R&B kind of phase, too. And he fucked it up. He did very well with it. I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
But he kind of started going toward that line to where you start seeing a lot of these R&B people being influenced by hip-hop, and it kind of started getting muffled during that time when Chris Brown started doing that kind of stuff. You start seeing Trey do it and other people do it, and it got kind of muffled. Usher, R&B. straight R&B. So we talk about nostalgia. Take me back to the 90s. Take me back to that feeling of R&B. Usher, bro.
Yeah, and it's hard, man. It's hard to pick a winner because as much great songs as Usher will play, Chris Brown could match and vice versa. You know, I think it'd be epic if that ever take place. Mark, who do you think wins that, man? You in the R&B? Yeah.
Usher.
Yeah.
All day.
Now, Chris Brown will look like he can lose well. That motherfucker do like a sore loser. So let's say Usher's up there giving it to him. Or do you think that if people were saying Usher won, would Chris Brown take that lightly? What do you think Chris Brown, and this is just all talking for fun, but what do you think Chris Brown's reaction? Do you think he'd take that loss gracefully, or is he not having that shit?
I don't know.
I don't think he's having that shit.
I can't name 5 Chris Brown songs.
What?
I don't really listen to him.
Oh, okay.
I heard him, but
yeah, you know.
Usher, you could go for days from him. He was, 14 years old or something like
Chris
that?
Chris came in the game at 15, too. Yeah. You remember Run It with Jewels and Girl and Excuse Me, Miss, and he got some records.
When I was DJing, I had Usher records on Chris Brown. Though.
Yeah.
Usher, that's what they request.
Yeah.
I'm going to look something up.
But Chris Brown, his stage performance, he could dance, front flips and all that.
Yeah, he definitely, you know what I mean, he could do his thing, but I don't know, man. I would love to see it. I ain't gonna lie, I'd love to see them two on stage getting it in, you know, and it'd be epic, man. They need to do that shit like in an arena. They don't need to be on a weak ass stage somewhere. They need to be in like Madison Square Garden or something. You know, that'd be a show, man. And then bringing out people on features and all that too. Oh my goodness, man.
Let me just say the stat real quick. According to Billboard, Chris Brown has the 9th most Hot 100 entries on the chart with 114. As of December 22, he has achieved 52 top 40 entries on the top 100, Hot 100, and 17 in top 10. Brown is the singer with the 5th most consecutive weeks on the top 100, 161 weeks. Damn. Put some goddamn respect on Chris Brown's name.
Yeah, real shit. Real shit.
He got some hits. I don't know what Usher is. I'm sure he's close. But Chris Brown got some hits.
Yeah. I think he probably does have more like charting hits than Usher.
Yeah.
Usher gonna burn him though. He gonna let him burn.
Yeah, let him burn.
That shit.
It's not adding up, but has 9 Billboard Top 100 as lead artist and 8. Okay, so Usher has 9 Billboard Hot Top 100 #1 singles, all as a lead artist. Chris Brown had a lot of features and 18 Hot Top 10 singles. So it's not as accomplished, but I could sing Usher albums, like at least 3 of his albums. I know from top to bottom.
Real shit. I can't say that about Chris Brown.
I can't either.
Maybe his first one, I know a lot of them joints, right. But Usher, oh my man, I think Usher got more better albums than him. Would you say that?
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think that's a debate.
Right.
Like I said, that 8701. I can't think of the other albums right now, but there's
Confessions.
Confessions.
Yep.
He got shit. I know them shits top to bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
did Jermaine Dupri write Confessions?
Jermaine Dupri was a part of his early work. I don't know if he did Confessions.
I heard that he did.
He might have.
Yeah.
He might have.
At least wrote a couple songs on there. That's one of the greatest joints ever, bro.
Confessions, My Way. I forgot about My Way.
Yeah.
8701. Here I Stand. I probably know all of them top to bottom. Hard to Love, that came out in 2016. My son know that. And
what's the joint he put out? Here I Stand. Is that the joint?
Yep.
Yeah. That's my joint too.
Oh wait,
fuck with that.
That joint's is truth.
Hell yeah.
Moving mountains and shit.
Yeah.
Right? Usher's a bad boy.
Yeah.
And got albums for days. Let me ask you about verse. Let's talk about verses as a whole. Is it the same? We're hearing a lot about, okay, JD, Diddy gonna do a verses, Usher, Chris Brown gonna do a verses. When the last time we saw goddamn verses?
I don't know. I haven't.
Right.
And it's like, why? Because y'all busy again? I can't do a versus? There's money in it. Because we ain't sitting there quarantined no more. People still want to watch it.
It's dope.
I mean, maybe people scared. I don't know. I like to see some of these new artists get into. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know, like Lil Wayne, and I mean, it could go so far. I know they had a little issue, whatever, you know, with like the ownership and stuff like that at one point. But I thought that was all solved.
Ownership of what? The actual
verses and all that. Yeah, I think remember was an issue with them and all that, and I don't know, man. Is it going to happen? I heard that Diddy and Jermaine Dupri is going to be the next one going down, which is like okay. That might be pretty decent, I guess.
Both gonna play other people's songs.
That's all they
Pretty much, yeah.
That's all they gonna do. And that seemed like a better joint for quarantine. I'd rather sit down and watch them two legends on IG Live, quarantine, play them records and do that. That would bring nostalgia as opposed to them going on stage and probably making a fool out of themselves. All they're gonna do is play records and probably dance around and shit.
So, old ass niggas.
I don't know. I think Versus kind of. I love the idea. I love putting two people against each other and playing track for track, but I think it lost a lot of its allure when they started doing extra shit.
Yeah.
You trying to find distribution, they put it on pay-per-view, now somebody gotta pay.
Yeah, and fuck that.
When you could put it on, get on IG Live and just click one of them joints and watch.
Right.
The Shaka Khan was a train wreck.
Was that on IG Live?
I don't know if it was on IG Live, but one of them showed up drunk as hell and was just.
You gotta think about that too. That's entertainment at the end of the
day. They should did they could at least. I mean, IG Live was cool. Maybe do it like on YouTube Live. Get a contract with YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Facebook, something. You
could license them songs for that time. You know,
right.
Like the owners up there performing them.
Yeah.
And distribute that joint. That would be crazy. But I think that when they tried to go to Dazan and all these other networks, they kind of just took away from it. Now people just kind of talking about it. It's a myth now. Who's going to do verses? Last verse I saw was Bone Thug and 3 6 Mafia. That was years ago.
Yeah.
Cocaine on the stage.
Man, that shit might be dead, man. The verses.
That's what I'm saying, man.
We got a couple more topics, man. Let's talk about Ice Spice. Now, a lot of people seem to speculate that Ice Spice would not be where she is today if she happened to be a dark-skinned sister as opposed to a light-skinned sister. What's your thoughts on that, man? The colorism thing is real, obviously. Just imagine Ice Spice, let's say, who? Joel Embiid's complexion. Or Michael Blackson's complexion. Let's even go deeper. Is she gonna be what she is today if she was that complexion, Michael Blackson?
My question is, where is she today? She's popular. She ain't really doing shit yet, even though she's everywhere. And it's not for her music,
right?
I mean, really, let's just keep it 1,000. It's not for her music. It's for shaking her ass, jumping around, and just being popular. Now, the colorism thing is very real. I don't know if we can put it in this situation. Only because I've seen a lot of dark-skinned women doing their thing out here on the same level as what she's doing. If we talking about jumping around and shaking your ass and getting male attention and being put on social media, then we've seen that done.
Like
that blueprint has been written. And I think sometimes people use that colorism thing because it's just easy to fucking use.
Right.
Like in the context of what we're talking about here, the person that said that thing about colors, I just think in that situation, okay, yeah, just throw that at the dartboard. It's because she light skinned. Okay, cool, whatever.
Right.
But no, I don't see it in this situation. I think that she caught a wave in the genre that she's in. She understood how to utilize social media. She understood how to utilize her body. And she was in a situation where everything just added up. So people started following her. Hell, we watched her sitting right here on YouTube. We ain't watched nobody promoting her, backing her. We ain't see her on The Breakfast Club first or anything like that.
Right.
We seen one of them thotty ass videos that didn't have that many views, and then it went crazy, and now she's everywhere. I think that gotta give her more credit for, I guess, her grind or her marketing strategy, whatever the case may be, on how she got where she's at, more so than color. I think that's just kind of a weak out, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think there's some truth to it to a certain extent when you talk about, because we got, in this society, it's like the lighter you are, the better you are. That's what most people, even as a baby, you know what I mean? That's like, it seems like that's the overarching, theme that it is. So I think that it's a little bit of truth, in her specific situation, but it doesn't mean that somebody dark skinned couldn't pop as well. You know what I mean? I think that, they're looking for a certain type of prototype of woman. You know what I mean? And if you happen to be, if you're going to shake your ass, you know what I mean, and show your titties and talk about that sex shit, we can get you through. Because look at Meg Thee Stallion. Not that she's the darkest. Look at, people like Lil Kim. And,
Cash,
stuff like that. But then again, you got your Lottos, you got your Cardi B's, and, you got Ice Spice and all these people that are light skinned too. So it's just like, it's a certain, I think it goes definitely both ways. But Ice Spice's case, it's kind of hard to say, man. Honestly, it's kind of hard to say. But I think being light skinned is definitely going to give you a little bit of advantage over somebody dark skinned, in my opinion. Definitely.
Yeah, I cannot disagree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that wholeheartedly. If she starts finding her way on the Tonight Show and all these different types of shits,
right?
Okay, yeah, that might have something a little bit to do with it. But I just don't want to totally disregard her work just because she's light skinned. people have a tendency of just kind of throwing it out there because yes, there's some truth to it. So let's just kind of put it to every situation.
I think her work is garbage. Honestly, her music.
I don't know it.
You know what I mean? I think it's just it's a trend that people love right now. You know what I mean? That's what I kind of think.
We had this conversation years ago about Cardi B, and I can't speak for you, but I know I was personally wrong because I said that eventually Cardi B would fizzle out and she would get into the Hollywood more entertainment thing. And she is. She ain't really done music in a while, but she still can.
She got some good writers.
Oh yeah. What? But what do you think in 3 or 4 years Ice Spice will be popular? Because I still think she'll be popular, but would she be popular for her music in 3 or 4 years?
Maybe.
Okay.
Because I mean, it all depends, man. Can she change up her? Because even though Cardi B, and it's kind of hard to compare the two, but even though a lot of her shit sounds, the same, like a lot of her cadences, it's different. She's collabing with different artists and things like that, and she just done a lot, in the music, and she's kind of turning into, like you said, a personality.
Yep.
Outside. I haven't seen her with Ice Spice yet.
Right.
I ain't seen Ice Spice on Instagram running her mouth and this, that, and the third. And it seems like she's just a sex symbol. Cardi B's a sex symbol. She's a comedian. She's sitting down with politicians now. She's this, she's that. Like, they got her talking about Russia and fucking Ukraine. Like, goddamn. Sitting down with Biden. Like, once you get to that level, it's a totally, different, bag and a totally different ball game. But will Ice Spice be there? I don't really know her personality. Like, I haven't really heard her talk. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know.
Thinking about that. I never heard
that little commercial she got, it's like 2 seconds. But it's like, again, I agree though. Like, I think that she is some talent there. Obviously, you don't make it without some talent. But I'm 38. I think I'm 38, right? It just don't really appeal to me. Like, the music don't appeal to me. It's like nursery rhymes to me. Obviously, fat ass, all that looks great. But the kids love it. The kids, and I guess that's all that matters at the end of the day. Yeah, the beat and the little cadences and shit. Oh, that she ain't her move. Kids like that nursery rhyme dumb down shit now, man. This is what it is.
See her demographic is kids.
She ain't got no lyrical content.
No.
She had the backing of Drake and Nicki.
True that.
Like, they co-signed for that pushed her onto the next level, but
why would Nicki do that though? I don't know. I'm not saying I'm mad at her doing it.
Drill wave. It's the drill.
Oh
wave.
yeah.
So whatever crew that she running with, or whoever her manager is pushing her in the right spot.
Have you heard any of her other songs before this song?
No, it was just that munch crap.
Oh, okay.
Mainly the beat. Like, I listen to the instrumental. Like, I don't even listen to the lyrics half the time.
Nicki has a tendency of befriending a lot of these young rappers too. For what? I don't know.
I've never seen a push like Scarlett.
Look, I don't know. She just got this.
Scarlett. Let's talk about. You finished?
No, go ahead, dude.
What do you think about Scarlett's coming out totally different? It's still drill shit, but it's on some thug.
It's like
chop your head off type shit.
She's like, I don't know, Lady of Rage and had a baby type.
Right.
Like she's raw, but being pushed by, endorsed by Swiss, Busta, Jada Kiss, 50, like Cardi B. Like, she has a laundry list of people that are all like thriving for her to survive. Like, come out.
It's to me, it's what you do. Like Ice Spice, Cardi, anybody. It's what you do with that next. Once you get that first hit, it's what you do with the next one. We seen what Cardi B did. You know what I mean? She came out with some shit. Megan Thee Stallion kind of came out with some shit. Lotto, you know what I mean? They keeping themselves relevant. Whether it's gimmicky / music or gimmicky, they keeping themselves relevant. So what is Ice Spice going to drop next?
Her second album is going to tell her career.
A perfume line.
Because it's mainly one song. Like, she got one song on that album. That's the only song you listen to. The rest are all on skip.
Does she have an album out? I didn't even heard her shit. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, though. I don't want to write her off. I'm going to listen to some more of her music.
That drill wave, though, man.
I think that Scarlett, when she came out with that beat, it made you want to throw on some baggy jeans, some Timbs. It took you back to that form of rap. So when you think about who is
the energy,
you know what I mean, who's bankrolling her right now, who's really pushing her, Jada Kids, 50, Busta, everybody that was in that era that felt that music. She gave something to them older heads that was like, damn, and she came in an aggressive, raw, nasty way. Now, after I heard that, I went on her Instagram. She could spit. She got a story to tell.
Yeah.
I also heard another one of her records, and I didn't like it because it was more on that drill side.
Oh, okay.
But it makes me want to hear more. She does have talent. She is dope.
She just need the right producers.
I heard somebody say this. Oh, God. You remember Che Noir? We interviewed her, Buffalo rapper. Somebody brought her up on Twitter. I thought it was a great debate. And they said that because Scarlett came out with that ignorant, disrespectful type, let's degrade our women type rap, she's getting more credit than a Che Noir would, who's very lyrical, dope at the same time, but ain't out here promoting bullshit. It's not right. It ain't right, but
it's just the way it's not right, but it's just the way.
It's the mentality of the people.
Right.
They want to see disrespect.
Yeah.
Anything polite, honorable is like, that's corny.
You had to be like a Lauryn Hill type to really, like Lauryn Hill's putting all these motherfuckers in a body bag. But where's the Lauryn Hills at right now?
MC Light too.
Yeah. Yeah.
MC Light to me was her and Rod Digger, the greatest MCs, female MCs ever.
Yeah, they were dope. Our Lauryn Hill, though, you still look at the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and that's probably up there as one of the greatest albums of all
period.
time.
Yeah.
Straight through.
And I'm curious, was it that because she wasn't out here? I mean, it was a different era. She did what's that movie she did? She did
not Higher Learner.
Whoopi Goldberg. Bugging.
Damn.
Sister Act.
Yeah.
Went out there and did Sister Act. She got kind of popular off of that. Then the album comes out, the Fugees. She went crazy, right? Why? Like, what was it about her that made that music so revolutionary to where we still would go to a concert, know we're not hearing half the fucking songs, but still pay to go see her?
I would say the message, the music, the melodies, the message, the hip hop, like everything about it was like just so cultural and just so on point, in my opinion. Like, it was almost like something that was needed. And that, like I said, the time was different too. If that dropped now, I don't think it'll be received the same way. Back then, it was like perfect. You know, like YouTube. Sometimes shit is just perfect timing. Yeah. That shit was perfect timing, and it's still, like you said, it stands as one of the best hip hop / R&B albums ever.
I think that at the end of the day, that kind of just shows you talent will always trump hype.
Yep.
If you put work into it and you do it the right way. She was more than a rapper. She was more than a singer. She was a musician, and all that shit just came out at a perfect time. In a perfect way at that time, and it stamped her as one of the greatest. And we're never going to see a Lauryn Hill again. I don't think the world will allow us to see a Lauryn Hill again. The attention span isn't the way it used to be, to able to break down the magic that she's dropping in some of them bars.
Right.
So it's the Ice Spices, and it's the Cardi B's, and it's the Meg Thee Stallions, and all the other ones. So,
and like even those rappers, like, have you ever heard their story? Like, do you know Megan Thee Stallion's story? Do you know does Cardi B tell a story when she's rapping? I think that was a key word. You said that. Let me hear your story. Anytime we listen to artists back in the day, we got a chance to hear on that album. They had their ass shaking shit, but you got a chance to hear, okay, what they've been through, where they're at. Are these rappers going to do that, or are they just trying to make the ass shaking or the drill, I shot your homie in the face song? That's what I look forward to, man. So, no hate, just real opinions, man.
Yeah, I want Ice Spice to go and win and do her thing. I want to see her on TV, music.
Right.
Wherever she decides to take this, because I think she has a solid background in certain things, so you want to see her win and not have to dumb herself down to some of this shit. And hey, we older heads now, believe it or not. Like,
yeah, we old head.
We a little bit of an older head now when it comes to this music shit. And them 19, 17, 9-year-old little girls are rocking to it, and she getting a check from them 9-year-olds.
Yeah,
buying it. Don't stop a damn thing. Keep doing what you're doing.
For sure.
Your boys, Joe Budden and Gillie Da Kid. Two very popular podcast people, former rappers, now podcasters.
Failed rappers.
Rappers. Even though I like some of Joe Budden's records. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely. You like Gillie's?
I haven't heard any. That's a lie. That's a lie. I've heard a few. He did that Smoke mixtape with my boy Jay. You remember that Smoke joint?
Oh yeah, that was dope.
That joint was dope. So I'm not gonna act like Gillie's whack, because he's not when it comes to rap. Come to podcast, it's a little different, but rap, nah, he was dope. But what do you think about them, man? Two very successful people in their right, going at each other like a bunch of high school prom girls, man. What you think about that?
I think it could be fake, but let's just say it's not fake. It's, again, I'm gonna keep on saying the same thing over and over. Why do we gotta continue? And first of all, why are they? If they at the top, like, you mean to tell me all y'all could do is fight each other, bro? Like, what happened to collaboration? I'm not saying y'all gotta go, do a podcast tour together, but it's weak, man. This shit is weak as hell. Like, you talking about this dude's in his house, the window being covered up. He start talking to money talk again. It's like just nigga shit, man. It make us look silly as hell. That's how I feel about it, man. And we, again, why we always gotta compete and fight with each other. The white boy smoking everybody. These other people smoking everybody, but we gotta keep competing with each other. It's keeping us down at a certain level. When you read the comments, you see the people like they're not really feeling that shit, bro. They're not really feeling that. They just not, and obviously you're gonna still have your people that's gonna follow you and this, that, and the third. But I'm looking for the good content, the genuine good content. That's all. And if they could provide it, I'll watch. But I don't, because I don't think they providing it.
The crazy thing is, it goes to show you, no matter how much fame, no matter how much money, it'll never all the way cover up your insecurities.
Damn.
And these two brothers are very insecure still.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. You got Joe Budden at the top of his game in podcasting. You see $1 million worth of game just signed a ridiculous deal to bless their families for the rest of their life. And yet here comes the true colors of how insecure some of these people are. They're worried about the number one spot. They're worried about who liking them more. They're worried about who has more likes or who has more money, when they both should be eating and living comfortable and not worried about what's in the next man's plate, because this is what we talked about and grew up on as real men. Don't worry about what another man's eating. Feed yours. Don't worry about what another man's eating. Yet all we hear about is, I got more money than you. Oh, my podcast is better than yours. And it just shows how insecure these brothers really are. And I wish it wasn't the case, because you got platforms that could really kind of put light in a positive way on black podcasting, kind of weed out some of the bullshit and open doors for other avenues.
Yeah.
Yet here we are, arguing and beefing and clowning amongst one another in a very insecure, unmanned type of fashion. I think it's whack, man. I think it's corny. I think Kwame Brown kind of said it good. He said they're like peacocks flucking their feathers and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just kind of showing whose feathers flock better than yours, and as if these people ain't married and got all the women they want and all this stuff. It's corny to me. It shows the blatant insecurity, if it is real, because I think you might be onto something with it being fake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep that in mind, too. They could be out here and going on tour next week, because people are just going to want to hear what they got to say. If it's fake, genius. If not, y'all insecure as hell.
And you notice that Wallow, he don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? And he don't want nothing to do with it. You see him putting his head down and shit when Gillie's going in and shit like that. But like you said, the insecurity speaks loud of a man that keeps talking. Only thing you can say is the first thing you talk about is your money. Like, come on. And then again, my thing is like, talk your shit, be happy of your accomplishments. But it seems like, to me in particular, Gillie likes to talk down on black people as of late. I don't know if you noticed that. I've seen like different videos where it's like, oh, you niggas should be doing this. You niggas is doing that. How come you ain't on your gun? Like, dog, remember, you gotta remember where you came from. Yeah. You wasn't always had money. You ain't always had this. So I don't like when people talk down, especially on other black people, man, because, we all are one day, one check, or one whatever away from falling, man. You know what I mean? Just be humble. I always hear that. Just be humble. That's all. I'm excited to see them going to the levels that they're at, because it only means that we can get there and beyond, because we're in the same genre. But I imagine how corny that would be, you trying to compare your money with another dude. Yeah. That's corny as hell, bro. I think that's just whack. But again, like you said it best, man. The insecurities can't be covered up with a $30 million, $40 million, $100 million contract, being a number one podcast. It won't be covered up. And then you got Envy in the background and shit, and Charlamagne laughing and like on some pussies, man.
Some other powerful ones that could be.
Yeah.
They out here showing it.
You're Envy in the back, like, talk that talk. Yeah. Charlamagne, gawk. Like, what the fuck? Like, yo, that shit make me look at dudes a little different, man.
It goes to show you, we always hear that term, money's the root of all evil. And I don't agree with that. I think money is the water that waters the root of the evil already inside of you.
Yeah, woo.
It just waters the root of evil already inside you. And once you have it, it just exposes who you really are. Because not every money is needed out this motherfucker. Not everybody that has it is turning evil. Not everybody that has it is for bad. But you see the people that get it, and why we hear these certain things, because it already it shows you who you really are. And it's showing us who they really are.
Then it's like, how many people had 30, 40, 100 million and blew it? We watch it all the time. People that won the lottery, they end up broke. So I would say just be humble, man. You can obviously post and boast about your accomplishment, but just be humble at the end of the day, man. And just enjoy your shit, because now you put a target on your back.
Yep.
Now you in Philly riding around, and you here riding around, and everybody know you got this shit now. Then it's like, all right, I'm coming to get this shit. I don't wish no harm on none of these dudes, man. But we see them out there naked as hell. But when they come here and shit, they got police escorts and shit. But hey, it is what it is, man.
It is what it is, and another game of these podcast wars, this bullshit. But we always gonna give it to you real raw and uncut here. The Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. We appreciate y'all. Hey, for the people listening on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, the podcast, riding around in your whip, working out, whatever the case may be, we definitely appreciate you. This shit is for you. So keep sharing it, keep liking it, keep spreading the word, keep spreading the message. YouTube, y'all already know the vibes. Like, comment, share on whatever platform you happen to be watching this on. We got a few of them motherfuckers. We are doing this thing independently, raw, real, and uncut, as we've done since 2017. We appreciate y'all, man. But Sam Ant, Viral Hip Hop News. Oh, God, Hip Hop News Uncensored. We appreciate Mock on the ones and twos. Together, we are the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. Over and out.
Peace.